The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors. Coming up on BCIT Magazine, over 200 Vancouver art gallery employees strike for higher wages.
Pigeons are taking birth control at VCC Clark SkyTrain station.
And a Vancouver dog rescue is encouraging people to adopt.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Kareem Gouda.
And I'm Aaron Gillen. Vancouver art gallery employees set up picket lines last week. They claim they were overworked and underpaid. Jesse Day has this story on the dispute.
Show me the Monet was the mantra for many Vancouver art gallery employees this week.
Because gallery workers internationally are on average underpaid for the work that they do. So it's not just a local issue, it's an international issue. But we are the lowest.
There are two key changes that the Gallery Workers Union wants to see from their employer: higher wages and elimination of the current 9-day fortnight scheduling system. Currently, almost 20% of employees are mandated to work 9 consecutive days. The Gallery Workers Union says that many employees are struggling just to get by.
And you know what it's like to live in the Lower Mainland. It's, a liter of gas is costing $1.30, so it's not easy.
Despite the strike, the gallery is still open to the public.
That would be contrary to what we do as members of the gallery, or the members of the gallery. They're all artists there, and so the gallery is about culture and art, and we're not going to keep the public from attending that.
The gallery hopes mediation can bring the two sides to an agreement.
The gallery very much values its unionized employees, and we've been working very hard with the union to come to an agreement, and we hope to have this resolved as soon as possible.
The gallery is currently offering staff a 4.75% wage increase over a 3-year period. The union is proposing a 5.5% increase. The mediation process is set to get underway this week. Jesse Day in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
We're now joined by our reporter Jesse Day. Jesse, what's the latest update on this story?
Yeah, so it sounds like the two sides actually now have reached an agreement through the help of a mediator, and it looks like the workers' union will be getting a lot of the changes that they were hoping for with this new agreement.
So what are the changes in the contract?
Sounds like the one thing that the workers were hoping to get with this new agreement but won't be getting is changes to their scheduling system. So a lot of them are going to have to continue working those 9 consecutive days. However, they can expect to get paid quite a bit more for those long stretches of work. By 2020, workers can expect almost a 7% increase in their paychecks, including 2 years of back pay. Now back to you.
Thanks, Jesse. The BC SPCA is teaming up with TransLink to curb pigeon overpopulation. My co-anchor Kareem Gouda went to get the scoop on the poop.
It's unsanitary, it's smelly, and there's a lot of it. In response, a new pilot project is underway at the VCC Clark SkyTrain station to remove pesky pigeons and their poop for good.
See how we can best get the pigeons to eat the bait. And once we've sort of nailed down the best procedure, which works with our stations, we will be looking into rolling that out at other stations, including commercial Broadway.
Giving pigeons food to get rid of them may seem backwards, but this is not your average feed. The active ingredient nicarbazine prevents fertilization. TransLink hopes this solution will do the job.
We've tried lots of things over the years. If you go in the stations, you'll see spike belts on places where they roost, netting to keep them out. We've tried having a falconer come through to scare the birds away, but it's not really feasible to have a falcon at every station.
But how will it work in practice? In a statement, research communications specialist Aaron Ryan with the BCSPCA says, "The pigeons will be fed daily. If they eat 5 grams per day, they'll be infertile. There will be fewer hatchlings, and there is no risk to the pigeons or the environment." The BCSPCA says that, if successful, the station's ruffled residents will be reduced by 50 to 90%. That means there could still be some feces, but it'll be a manageable amount. Kareem Gouda in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. A Vancouver dog rescue organization wants to educate people on how to adopt their new best friend. As our reporter Sierra Simpson tells us, it might just be the Valentine's gift that keeps on giving.
A special someone is in search for his forever home this Valentine's Day. Vancouver rescue organization Thank Dog I Am Out was founded in 2009 and is dedicated to rescue and rehome dogs who are at risk of being euthanized, surrendered, abused, or neglected. Phil's brother Jude was recently adopted, and he hopes he too can find his new family.
Those are dogs that we got from Mexico. So they are usually come from pregnant strays, and the organizations there grab them off the street, usually running through traffic, and then they whelp the puppies in the rescue organization, and they bring them up.
The team brings about 150 dogs at a time up from the south. Most are rescued from Mexico or the United States, where 9,000 dogs are being euthanized a day, and 9 million dogs and cats are entering shelters every year.
And then this dog came in, and she just came running right up to me, and it was like, this is the best. And so the volunteers said, okay, she's yours.
The organization is focusing on bringing smaller dogs up due to the high number of Vancouver homes having bylaws only allowing dogs under 30 pounds.
Yeah. When we first met Lilo out at the shelter, she decided to use me as a stepladder to climb up and look out the window. And that's where she stayed. And that was the very first time we saw her. And that's when we knew she was going home with us.
Adoption fees are $525. That includes a spayed or neutered dog with up-to-date shots, a microchip, and a leash and harness.
They thought they were rescuing a dog, but in fact the dog rescued them. They never realized how much they needed a rescue dog because their life changes for the better.
A new puppy may just be the love of your life this Valentine's Day. Sierra Simpson in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
White Rock has approved a motion allowing dogs on the promenade during the off-season. Council voted unanimously in favor of the one-year trial, which begins in the fall.
Coming up after the break, a summer music camp gets a permanent space.
And a local Burnaby artist competes in an art paint-off.
Journalism's changed a lot in the last 20 years, and BCIT's been at the forefront of that evolution.
Those are your news updates for Evolution 1079 News.
Now it seems like the industry is changing by the minute. So now, more than ever, we're taught how to adapt.
The federal government unveiled a new immigration plan that would When I first started at BCIT, there was only one thing that I really wanted to do in journalism, and this program really opened my eyes to all the avenues of employment. And now I feel really confident that I have the skills to get hired.
From day one, you're out there chasing down stories.
You aren't just sitting in a classroom reading about journalism, you are a journalist.
BCIT Newsroom. I look back at the work I was doing even 3 months ago, and it's just amazing to see how far you can come in such a little bit of time. This program really teaches you skills and techniques to learn how to better communicate.
Jamie Dodd in Vancouver.
In New Westminster.
In Burnaby.
For BCIT Magazine.
Welcome to your BCIT Magazine Community Calendar. I'm Sean Murphy.
And I'm Ash Birdie.
Want to design your own game? Check out the BC Game Jam happening this weekend at BCIT. Starting February 15th, attendees will have 48 hours to create a game based on the theme given by the organizers. Meals are provided, and you can even stay overnight, so bring a sleeping bag.
Or maybe lasers are your thing. A one-night special presentation at BCIT's Planetarium is bringing together Pink Floyd, Radiohead, Gorillaz, and astronomy with a full-dome video 360 projection system and surround sound. This isn't your granddaddy's Laserdome. The event starts Friday, February 15th at 7:20 p.m. in Burnaby. Oh!
Ring in the Year of the Pig at H Tasting Lounge until February 24th.
The event features classic Chinese cuisine like barbecue pork, pork belly, and more.
You can also get a Year of the Pig cocktail crafted with Johnny Walker Black Label and Legacy Chinese vodka.
The event also features classic invigorating Chinese cheese.
That was your Community Calendar. I'm Ash Murney.
And I'm Sean Murphy.
A Vancouver music project has found a new home. Girls Rock Camp will now be available to children all year long. Austin Serwinski has more.
Girls Rock Camp Vancouver is usually a summer program where kids learn self-esteem through music. The camp can host programs year-round now that they have been given access to Falaise Park Fieldhouse in East Vancouver.
We're a bunch of musicians, mainly, and we realized that there isn't a lot of opportunity for young girls and women to get into the music scene in Vancouver and, around the world. It's an ongoing issue because it's a really male-dominated scene. So we thought this way we can help to bring it to everyone.
The open house lets parents and kids check out the programs and decide what they'd like to do at the field house. Parents are excited about the opportunity. What do you think about this Rock Camp program?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, anything that empowers girls to just to be their authentic selves, I totally support. So.
And do you think that you're going to put your girls in this program?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
As part of their contract with the park board, the group needs to host 350 hours of activity, which is plenty of rock time to roll with. Austin Serwinski in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Karaoke, karaoke, karaoke.
Our reporter Austin Serwinski joins us now to talk about the event. So Austin, what exactly do the children do at the Girls Rock Camp?
Well, from what I was told by the organizers, the kids will all meet up during the first week and be assigned bands based on what kind of music they're interested in. Then they learn how to play their instruments, sometimes better, sometimes for the first time at all. Then they write songs, they create their rock star aesthetic, and they even learn how to sell merch.
So, will the event space be strictly used for girls' rock activities?
Not necessarily. The organizers say they plan to use the field house for adult jam sessions as well, possibly, or any other kind of event that the community thinks is interesting.
The Burnaby Arts Council is mixing creativity with competition with its very first Paint Off. Our reporter Jeff Mallow has more on one artist's journey through the contest.
Ready, set, paint. These 8 artists are in it to win it at the Burnaby Art Council's Paint Off. The rules are simple. The artists have 2 hours to paint their next masterpiece. Burnaby artist Alex Essers has a stiff challenge ahead. Not only does she have to stand out against some of the best artists in the Lower Mainland, but she has to paint to the theme of Rain, Rain, Go Away, Chasing Away February Blues.
Well, with events like this, I think there's a lot of energy for the crowd around, and also too, you're staring at a giant blank white canvas and you have to transform it in 2 hours time and make people excited about what you're doing and try and vote for you.
But it's not all about who wins or loses. It's about showcasing the artist's work.
Such an awesome vibe. You see artwork from a blank canvas to a finished piece, and it's really neat to see. And the vibe you get, the energy, the artists wanting to be here.
As the competition heated up, some artists pulled out every trick, including using 2 brushes at the same time. But Alex has a plan of her own. She is relying on her own experience as a former house painter to separate herself from the competition.
A lot of textures, layering, and different natural materials that need to dry flat. So this will be quite a challenge for me because it's vertical. So I'm used to things being able to have time to be flat, dry, and not roll off the painting.
At the deadline, the brushes go down and Alex has painted her next great work.
My final piece, I think it went pretty true to my example. I used the techniques that I'm comfortable with, the paint colors I wanted to, and I'm happy with how it dried and how nothing set.
All of the paintings will be auctioned off with proceeds going to the artists. Though the voting won't be finished until later in the week, Essers is more than pleased with her latest masterpiece. Jeff Mell in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
How much is your hair worth to you? Well, if you're a child who's lost their hair due to medical treatment, it could be priceless. My co-anchor Aaron Gillen went to a charity event that cuts to the chase.
These UBC students are getting huge amounts of their hair chopped off to donate to Wigs for Kids. That's a partnership with BC Children's Hospital to give wigs made from real hair to children who need them.
Yeah, my friends and I kind of made it a goal to do it every single year. Every time we see this event on Facebook, we're like, oh, let's do it. Yeah.
While some have made it their goal to donate every single year, others have come forward on a whim.
I'm pretty busy with all my classes and stuff, so when I found that they were having a thing today in the nest, I just decided to go for it. The last time I cut it was in summer of first year, so 3 years about.
Cindy will be walking away with her hair 10 inches shorter, all of which will go to Wigs for Kids. But this still isn't enough to make the charity thrive.
Another huge problem we've just had was when the Cancer Society announced they were no longer collecting hair. And people have confused us with the Cancer Society, and we are still collecting hair. Every penny that we raise goes to help BC kids live better with their illness. A little girl, 7 years old, in Kelowna had lost all her hair to alopecia. They come to us for a wig, and the results are remarkable. One little girl is so positive about her wig. She says, I can even hang upside down on the monkey bars and it doesn't fall off.
Stories like these encourage new participants to grow their hair once again with a future donation in mind.
It's just the best of both worlds, knowing that I can help somebody else while also getting the cut I was looking for just seemed perfect. So here I am.
Aaron Gillen in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. Vancouver residents are still feeling the effects of a ruthless cold snap. Nowhere is it more desperate than at the city's homeless shelters. Jesse Day has the story.
Last night I had to wrap my tent up with tarp because the night before it was so cold it was hard to sleep.
Barbara is just one of more than 2,000 people living without shelter in Vancouver. With temperatures reaching a bone-chilling -8 overnight, Catholic Charities Hostel Director Scott Small says that his shelter and every other shelter in the city have more people looking for a warm place to stay than they can handle.
The number of people living outside is definitely increased over the past several years, and in the cold weather, it just compounds that alienation when other people are holed up warm in their homes and you're not welcome in the home that you're from, and you're not equipped to deal with the cold weather. And with those factors, you see real problems, life and death.
For some, just getting warm can mean putting their lives in danger.
Use the butane, and you just kind of squinch the nozzle down in a cap, perhaps, like this we're talking about. Fills up with a liquid that drips down in there, and you light that on fire, and that'll just burn in there inside that cap until it's all gone, done with. It's a butane
or
fire.
the alcohol swabs, you freaking just grab a whole bunch of them, put them in a pile, and just light it on fire.
Scott says that he has to put 10 to 15 new people in their waiting pool each day. Most shelters can only provide a short-term stay before they try to transition people into a more permanent housing situation.
In the morning, there's about that much condensation of ice cubes on top of our blankets. And then again, it's cold.
Scott says that more affordable housing is the only possible long-term solution for people living in the cold like Barbara. Jesse Day in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Do you use online dating? Well, the RCMP is asking people to look out for scammers. Last year in BC, victims were reportedly ripped off of about $2 million.
Drone flights have revealed an odd couple in the deep sea. Vancouver aquarium researchers have released footage of dolphins hanging out with a pod of resident killer whales. Scientists say it's unusual, but it seems like they're getting along just swimmingly.
And that was your BCIT Magazine for this week. I'm Kareem Gouda.
And I'm Aaron Gillen. We now leave you with a scenic view of Vanier Park.